You ever use an app that's just so smooth, so reliable, you barely even think about it? Well, that perfect experience, it doesn't just happen by chance. It's actually the result of this invisible, super detailed plan. And today, we're going to pull back the curtain and show you that exact blueprint. So to really get why this blueprint is so important, we have to start with a number. And that number is billions. That's the estimated cost of software failures to the global economy every single year. We're talking everything from tiny glitches to, huge system meltdowns. The price of bad software is just absolutely massive. Which, of course, leads us to the big question, right? How do the best applications out there, the ones you and I use every day without a single problem, how do they dodge this bullet? Well, their secret isn't some kind of magic. It's a strategy, a blueprint for quality. And that's exactly what we're about to dive into. So the hero of our story today is what we call the software testing strategy. I want you to think of it as the master plan, the guiding light that makes sure quality isn't just an afterthought, but it's baked into the very foundation of a project, right from day one. So what is it, really? Well, it's the 30,000-foot view. This isn't about the nitty-gritty of every little test case. No, this is the high-level plan. It answers the big questions like, what tools are we going to use? What techniques will we apply? How are we going to organize our team to find and squash problems as efficiently as possible? Honestly, the best way to think about it is like a blueprint for a building. I mean, you would never build a skyscraper without a super detailed plan, right? Well, you can't build complex software that way either. This strategy is that plan. It makes sure every digital brick and beam fits together just right, and that no critical detail, big or small, gets missed. Okay, so we know what it is, but let's talk about the why. What's the actual payoff of having this blueprint in place? Let me tell you, the benefits are huge, and they all start with catching problems way before they spiral out of control. And this is really where that plan pays for itself. The single most important benefit is finding issues early. Think about it. A bug you catch in the design phase might cost, say, $1 to fix. That same bug, if it's found after the app launches, it could cost thousands. This whole approach, it doesn't just cut down on risk and make the team more efficient. It directly leads to a faster product, a way smoother user experience, and it builds confidence for everybody, from the engineers all the way to you, the person using the app. Now, a great strategy isn't just one thing. It's a whole mix of different approaches. Think of it like a toolkit, right? You've got different tools for different jobs. So let's open up that toolkit and take a look at some of the most important ones inside. We'll start with two really fundamental approaches. First, you've got structural, or white box testing. This is like a mechanic popping a hood of a car to see how all the engine parts connect and work together. It's all about checking the internal code. Then, on the other hand, you have behavioral, or black box testing. This is more like being the driver. You get in the car, you make sure the brakes work, the radio turns on. You don't really care how it works, just that it works from your point of view. But the toolkit doesn't stop there. There's also static testing, which is kind of like a grammar check for your code. It happens before you even run the program, catching typos and little errors automatically. The engine isn't even on for this one. And of course, there's front-end testing. This is all about making sure every button, every menu, every graphic that you see and click on looks and works perfectly. And finally, we get to the big question: humans or machines? Manual testing is just irreplaceable. You need that human insight. A person can spot an awkward design or try something totally unexpected that a script would just miss. But for all those thousands of repetitive checks, automated testing is an absolute lifesaver. It's faster, it's more accurate, and it can run 24/7. The real magic, though, is when you find that perfect balance between the two. Okay, this all sounds great in theory, but how do you actually turn this whole idea into something real? Building one of these blueprints might seem like a huge task, but really, it boils down to a pretty clear 6-step process that just about any team can follow. All right, first up, you define your scope. You can't test everything, so you have to focus on what's most critical. From there, you choose your approach, that perfect mix of human and machine testing we just talked about, and you identify the types of tests you need, like for performance or for security holes. Step 4 is super important. You set clear goals for what done actually looks like. Then you map out who's doing what and when, and finally, you build a plan for the risks. Because let's be honest, in software, you always have to plan for the unexpected. And that really brings us to the core philosophy behind this whole thing. A good testing strategy, it's not a negative process that's just focused on finding what's broken. It's actually a positive, proactive process. The ultimate goal isn't just about finding bugs. It's about building and delivering true, undeniable quality. So, the next time you're just seamlessly scrolling through your favorite app, take a second to think about that invisible architecture that's holding it all together. You might not be able to see the blueprint, but you can definitely feel its quality. And now, you can probably spot the apps that were built without one too.